everyone. I'm Sister Meeg.
I'm glad you noticed that. I'm Sister Beej, which I
Meeg
should say
today.
my real name is Betty Jane, but
Hmm.
you call me Beej.
I call you Beej. My real name's Marguerite, but I go by Maggie. But more often I go by Meg. So
Yeah,
there's that. I wanted to.
apparently.
Sorry, what was that?
Well, it seems like only your family calls you Maggie even these days.
Yeah, only my family calls me Maggie. Like at my job that I share with my boyfriend, he basically had all of the coworkers already referring to me as Mags, like before I even worked there. And so when I worked there, like all my login shit is like Mags at where I work. And so it's kind of weird to like in a professional setting. But anyway, that's by the by.
Well, it's by the by, but you know what? I just had some bourbon and I think that I either inhaled too much air first, but my eyes did water.
I see. Well, while you take care of that, there are a few things I wanted to address. I will say this is the first episode or recording we've done where I didn't have like an eye infection, or the last episode we did where I had allergies so bad that I was visibly sniffing, and I had a shout out to my best friend Bart for the constructive criticism on me not touching my face and openly drinking white claws. And like think I kept doing this.
I know. I thought it was very intentional. Look,
I don't
I'm actually kind of poking you for a little industry context here. Like, do you not have an explanation for how to drink bourbon? Because that's going to be the topic of today's episode is workplace um,
uh
ins and outs.
I mean, when you're sniffing the notes, what they told me at my old job, I mean, this is a gin and tonic, so it's not gonna be the same, but you go like, you keep your mouth open.
For those who are audio only, Maggie just brought that glass right to the nostrils, mouth open like my 4-month-old when she's about to take the breast.
Yes. And then you want to just you don't want to get like a huge sip, but you want to be able to like taste the taste the notes. But I don't,
I think I'll slow down. I got a little excited.
you were excited to have some bourbon.
Yeah,
We've all been there.
we've all been there. So you were in the alcohol industry. Today we're going to talk a little bit about um, our professional experience as well as what dad was up to around the time he was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had probably like, what would you say, Beej, 20 plus jobs since I've started working,
Yeah, I mean, you might hold the record for the Camp family.
of having the most odd jobs and maybe
Yeah.
even the most peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
But
More peculiar.
none none of them really pertained to uh Parkinson's. Like, and I can't think of a single one. Until now, I'm working in the massage industry, and more and more clients come in with Parkinson's. And I am not a massage therapist, but have spoken with and given advice to massage therapists about people with Parkinson's coming in for massage. And my biggest thing is that you should always ask your doctor before getting any massage,
Yeah.
whether you have Parkinson's or not. If you have any sort of, if you are in your first trimester of
Yeah.
pregnancy, don't get a massage unless the doctor absolutely is like, go for it.
I feel like we're going to be constantly medically disclaiming when you're
Mm,
speaking to a community affected by a specific chronic illness.
yeah.
And that's the thing is the internet is full of trails. You know what I mean? You can wander down any old path, and we're not trying to be the seedy path. We're trying to be the fairly main road
Sorry,
because
that
Maggie and
tendril.
I are not experts of anything, actually, probably. But you are a generalist in booze, and that's why I brought that up. is because I wanted to say I know alcohol seems to impede the efficacy of Parkinson's
Yeah.
meds. So a lot of people don't drink, like our
Don't drink.
father
Yeah.
who owned a tavern.
Yeah.
Doctor.
That pretty ironic. Parkinson's
Oh,
is full of irony though,
there's only irony.
especially in Dad's case. Being such an athlete,
Yeah.
like playing varsity baseball in high school.
I think he touched every sport he could get his hands on. He
I
just
think
grabbed
so,
every ball.
except soccer.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't grab them. Right. You would
It's for women and
put it.
Europeans.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my dad did not say that. I'm just that's
He also doesn't
absolute.
sound remotely like that.
No, that
No.
was
But it was
total.
fun. You had fun.
I
fun.
had fun in the moment. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, just being such a talented and committed athlete in college. He played for his college's baseball team as well, I believe.
Mhm.
And just to get a disease that kind of takes all that away from you, takes that athleticism away from you, is ironic. It's not only tragic, it's also kind of like, huh, of
Right.
all the people, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
I
lay
mean
on my
every kind of person can get Parkinson's, introvert and extrovert, um, sporty or
maybe.
otherwise. And I feel like Dad just happened to be the recipe of very physical, very social,
Mhm.
not a book reader, not an, sit by the fire and sip bourbon kind of guy. I mean,
Yeah.
which is silly to say that, like, if you are an introvert and you are okay, kind of, bundling up, as if that makes having Parkinson's better. Of course
Yeah.
not. But I think our dad is struggling forever because the disease undermines his very character, like his every inclination as a person is at odds with Parkinson's.
But that being said, the more awareness, I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair, guys. I just got out of the shower. It's really
Remember,
frizzy.
we have audio only as well,
That's
so
very true.
many are spared.
But now that the community and the awareness is growing, there's so many more studies, that lead to new fun activities like like with boxing.
Yeah, I mean, and yes, and exercise, I'll find the study for this, but exercise has definitely been cited as the only other proven treatment for Parkinson's symptoms besides carbidopa levodopa. And it's huge. It's enormous. And they found, let's do a carbidopa levodopa wrap in the future.
I think that would be culturally appropriate.
I think it would be appropriately cultural. And
What the world
the more
needs. Hollywood's been begging for this.
oh, who hasn't been begging for this? Yeah, so there's a lot of exercise out there, but then again, I think you're met with another Parkinson's irony, which is that apathy really
Yeah.
strikes the heart of the person with Parkinson's often.
Yeah.
And that one doesn't seem to depend on disposition or personality. I mean, you lose dopamine, eventually it's going to be really hard to find motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think that is maybe full circle where exercise can bring you back in.
Yeah.
Is if you can get, a day a week, just starting there. I know that helps Dad get out of winter.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
joins a class, because winter, I think, usually like really slows him down.
For everyone, and especially people with Parkinson's. And I think watching like the apathy that experiences is probably the hardest part for me as an adult child.
Yeah.
That's definitely But not to get like too heavy.
Not
Let's
in episode 2. I mean, heaviness is inevitable, but
it is. But
I
in
did want
episode
to touch
2,
on like what dad was doing when he was diagnosed because I find it interesting, maybe not relevant, but he was a director of a Boys and Girls Club. And it took a long time. I'm sure many people out there understand this experience to get a diagnosis, in part because he was young, and in the 90s, neurologists were few and far between, let alone those who are ready to associate Parkinson's with a person younger than 80.
mm-hmm. Oh, 80, really?
Well, no, I mean, probably
In like the
65,
60s,
70.
70s,
Yeah.
yeah. In the later years, the
Yeah. And
latter
I
years.
think that is like one example of just being human as a medical provider, right? We just have our associations of what a condition looks like what kind of person represents that condition. And Parkinson's is represented by any kind of person we know now, you know.
Yeah.
And in dad's case, it was a 38, 39-year-old dude, father of 3, avid golfer and Seinfeld watcher.
3 under 10
3 under
too,
10.
I should say, which is that's pretty crazy. Yeah. But yeah, and he did still do, I think I said this before, he still did do all the dad stuff like coaching
Oh yeah.
and having us watch
I'm glad you said,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he
Having us,
wasn't like, Parkinson's is a degenerative disease. It's
yeah.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah. But he what I'm saying is he still got to be kind of like uh a younger dad. A lot of
Mhm.
my friends have younger parents, but like he got to still, yeah, he still, despite all that, like just was a relatively joyful father to be around.
Yeah,
Except when he did like volcano blowouts, which
sure.
that's a long running joke between the Camp families, between our family as well as close friends of the fam. But what about you and your career as
Yeah,
far as it goes
lack
along with
thereof.
Parkinson's? I would call it. You
No,
were with that nonprofit for a long time.
yeah, but I mean, I interned with this organization, just a community nonprofit serving people with Parkinson's in college. And I specifically turned down a position with them because I didn't really want to get hemmed into Parkinson's in every corner of my life.
That's fair.
And I really didn't want an office job. I still really don't want an office job. But eventually I was actually thrilled to have the opportunity to rejoin them, and so poor. And the two things coincided. Not that I was making anything wealth building with a community nonprofit, but it was nice to have a 9 to 5 health insurance job after being, in my early 20s for a while and roaming the world, and was grounded there by that job for the last 5 years. And my experience, again, is not medical. It's just from working with community members over a long period of time and seeing, like I said earlier, so many different kinds of people,
Yeah.
so many different kinds of Parkinson's symptoms and
Yeah.
approaches to life with it.
And just making lifelong friends. I mean,
George just got we have a microphone
mm,
with here, can I see that? To help. It's like, it looks like
yeah.
it was made for cats to play with this. It helps buffer out wind. I just want you all to know the pleasures of podcasting don't stop with the humans.
No, for cats too.
For cats.
But yeah, and like through your work, we've made family friends, Terry, T, Sarah. Like
Mhm.
it's just I think it's great that you touched on not wanting every corner of your world to be touched by Parkinson's,
Hmm.
but even when you were working for them, I just think it was so cool
Yeah.
to see that side of Parkinson's where it's like not necessarily negative. Some of the best times I've had have been with those people,
Yeah.
like doing the galas, and
Hmm.
like I would volunteer a lot. I would come and hang out at Beej's office a lot and volunteer and do, like, or the open house. Like, how cool was that? Even people I didn't know and didn't really talk to outside of those events were there. And it was so cool to be like, yeah, my dad has Parkinson's too. What's your bag?
What's your bag?
What's your energy?
I'm sure that got tossed around a lot between you and the
Yeah.
walls.
Well, it certainly gets talked about at my current job a lot.
I'm sure. Well, no, and I'm glad you said that too, because the intersection of exercise, community,
Hmm.
and traditional medication,
Yeah.
these are three corners of care that I think if people don't attend to all of them, then they're going to be lopsided in some sense. And I'm sorry, that was a bad, I don't mean it like a Parkinson's pun,
That's
but
fine.
like they're going to feel it because when you are able to socialize, even if you can barely get a word out, I think
Yeah.
just getting in this room with people who know what it's like to get up and be affected by Parkinson's. I mean, that's like what Sarah would say is
Hmm.
she's like our sage. She would ask, what aspect of your life isn't affected by Parkinson's, you know,
Hmm.
and then looking at all of those pieces of your life, what can you do about which ones can you control,
Yeah.
and socializing, exercising, getting care. Those are the things you can control.
I also forgot to add Jordan to that list of names. So,
Yeah, add her.
because I feel like, Jordan, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see how us kids, like us siblings, how we
My computer.
avoid Parkinson's, but at the same time have really accepted it as a defining aspect to all three of our lives. Like, our
Yeah.
brother has the logo tattoo, like the Parkinson symbol thing tattooed on his arm,
Tulips.
the
Yeah.
the tulips with the PD.
I think that's probably copyrighted by like one
You can get
organization in particular. No, I mean, I'm not saying like Jamie's arm is a copyright infringement. I'm just saying that I think that it's like
Oh,
one symbol. It's not the
I was
universal
like,
symbol.
big Parkinson's is coming for our brother. They're gonna like give him a skin graft. Get that shit off.
You know what would be interesting is
It's a
if
logo.
we should do a pharma episode.
Mhm.
If anyone out there is listening, please send us your questions or thoughts on pharmaceuticals and
Mhm.
Parkinson's. And that
And
conversation will be forthcoming.
what which Walmart to get it from,
Yeah.
and not the
You know
Walmart
what?
dad got
That
it
is like
from
the
for some
biggest drag. He was, for some reason, our dad decided he was condemned to shop only at Walmart.
at
And
Walmart.
I understand he has a very small income, right? But
And there's nothing wrong. I
there is
also want to say
nothing wrong
there's
with Walmart.
nothing wrong with Walmart. It was
No,
the
I know
Walmart
people
he
who
was
buy their
going
clothes
to.
there. Yeah.
The Walmart he was going to. Listen, I don't know who's listening to this. If it's only ever going to be our friends, cool. If you're in Australia, this Walmart was not only extremely difficult to get to,
Yeah.
it was
Really
in
bad turn.
really bad turns to get in off of a busy highway, in kind of like just, a kind of medium to high crime level, you know what I mean? Which dad's not going to Walmart at like 2 in the morning to get a pack of fucking Corona. Like, He was going in the middle
Or
of the
was
day.
he?
I'm just saying
Yeah.
there were so many more convenient locations, and this disease is already a big bummer, like on its own, to state
Just
it lightly.
bummer.
Like, why are you going to the fucking Walmart that is akin to, like, I don't know, the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah.
I don't know how to. That was a horrible comparison, but I couldn't think of anything
No,
like
but it is also on a corner, so it is a very triangular feeling when you're there. And do you
what a
remember I would just
trip.
refuse to go in at some points
Yeah,
because I mean I knew he was doing it like like when you say,
intentionally.
yeah, it was very emotional.
And that, folks, is the perfect example of us not treating dad any differently. That if he did not have Parkinson's, if he had done that, regardless, I would have been
Yeah.
like, stop going to the most fucking inconvenient Walmart on the planet. There was another more convenient Walmart, like, what, a mile down? Do you know what I'm talking about? The other
Yeah.
Walmart by the
Yep.
top that used to be the Top Foods. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one was a newer build, granted. But yeah,
Yeah, but when it got built, we should have moved.
I just there was no actual necessity to go there. I mean, yes, it is cheaper. There are seriously comparably priced shopping venues with similar goods in this area. I mean, we lived in like a small metropolitan area and he had to be in the Walmart aisles.
It was just,
Fluorescent lights.
and that also it led to him. I'm doing the nose thing again
It's
because
fine.
my I'm getting allergies. I swear it's the
Do
I
you think it's
always
the cave
I
that you're
film
in?
in my boyfriend's like office, which is
Yeah.
like a small square. I think I might be allergic to something in here. I'm sorry, Bart. He was like, "Oh, Maggie."
No.
No. But yeah, wow, what an episode. Yeah,
Oh,
that
speaking of your
Walmart.
boyfriend though, Migs, how
Oh
how was
yeah,
your anniversary yesterday?
it was really fun. Um, we the start of the day we went ran errands. Like, we went to Trader Joe's, and
You guys are
then
always running errands. Every time I talk to you, you're anxiously like, look, I can't even be texting. We need Air Jackie and I need to do some errands.
because that's where we have the most fun.
I love that.
And then we went to Safeway, and then this is our 2 year anniversary. Friends for over 5, together for 2. Uh, so we went and dropped all of our groceries off, and then we had a third errand to walk to the Mud Bay
Mm,
to get some treats
for Tina.
for Tina, our dog. And then we went to our favorite restaurant, and then I got really like full and bloated, and I had to take today off of work because I think I got food poisoning for the second time in like a week.
Where did you go for
Rocket,
food?
Rocket Tacos. I've just given away our location.
Well, not necessarily. There's two, as we know. Look, you need to take it easy out there. It might be
Yeah.
time for just a home cook. We know what we made tonight was chicken noodle soup.
I love homemade chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, I think that's on your docket.
Mm. But yeah, so we went out to our favorite restaurant. We had the funniest fucking Lyft driver. He was about to go like back home. He's originally from Vietnam. He was about to go back home for 2 months. And we were like, why are you going? He goes, food. And we were just like, yeah, for sure. And he was so damn funny. He like we were singing at one point. Like, he was just like, oh, I wish I asked Jackie for the exact quote because he was a fucking blast. It was amazing. I had like fingers crossed, hoped that we got him again on the way home. But on the way home, it was like the opposite experience. It was like a cab, because cab drivers also do the rideshare stuff. And we're like, okay, cool. We get in, reeks of cigarettes, which whatever. And the entire way home, he's speeding, going crazy, and he's not wearing his seatbelt. So it's just going like ding ding. like,
Where'd our friend go?
no. I was like, this is like totally opposite experiences. And then we just watched Selling Sunset and smoked weed and went to bed.
So here's the thing. What's Selling Sunset?
It's a reality TV show.
Mm.
All right. This has gotten out of hand.
Oh, I feel like it's well within hand.
Well within hand.
Is Selling Sunset like of your reality TV shows? Is it of a higher quality than what I'm familiar with? Like, tell me.
Yes and no. It's made by the people that made The Hills and Laguna Beach, but they're trying, but
Oh,
it's about real estate agents in LA. And
oh, is it like the dram
there's
between them?
drums. There's drums. There's 5 seasons now, and Jackie and I have been invested
Mm,
since season 1. But yeah, it's you would hate it.
yeah, yeah.
But
You know what's interesting is that I sometimes feel like I live like metaphysically on an island, not just physically. You know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of folks out there like me, right, who don't watch reality TV.
oh, I'm sure.
They're like, we're out there. There's some people. But
Yeah.
it brings so much joy to I can think of several friends who just delight in it. And it's gotten really good, hasn't it?
I would say the reason that we like Selling Sunset is because Jackie's really interested in my boyfriend Jackie's really interested in real estate. Like he wants to eventually get into it. And you're looking at $20 million houses in LA, like in the hills.
Oh,
So
so you're
that's,
like in these people's closets that
well,
are the
it's
size
not
of
their
our
house,
house.
it's what who they're selling, like
Okay.
their clients that they're selling. And then there's also just like goofy moments. Like one girl, like there's like a cold open and she goes, I've never had an Oreo. And they're like, and it like cuts to like different faces. You never had an Oreo? And like Oreos are vegan because she's like notoriously vegan. And she's like looks it up and goes, okay,
Googled.
so Oreos, they are vegan, but they're not healthy. And then the other girl goes, well, I wasn't trying to tell you they were healthy. And it, so we just like it for just random shit like that. Like it's just kind of, I've been watching reality TV since I was in middle school. Like our brother and I would every like Thursday night watch Flavor of Love with Flava Flav. And so I don't know if that had any, I'm trying to somehow tie this into Parkinson's. Like,
I don't think
oh,
you need to.
no, that's what I
No,
was
I
about
like
to say. Is like,
you might not be able to. Well,
no, I think
although, what if there was a reality TV show about Parkinson's?
the fact that we're making this podcast is is groundbreaking. As far as Parkinson's representation in the media, I don't know like
Just love
how
another
high in
drug.
demand, like could you imagine a bunch of like dad and like Rich like slapping each other, like throwing water LaCroix on each other.
It's like Big Brother, but it's just like a house of people with Parkinson's and their kids.
And their kid, oh my god, and their kids. I'd probably be one of the younger people in that show. I'm getting old.
That would be kind of fun though. You know, we'd all like swap tips and tricks.
But the whole point is that they would want the drama. So would it be like,
Oh, so like one of the producers would take like
like I
somebody's
would,
like slippers, you know,
or
and they
I
would
would
blame
like
it on
to
the other daughter.
exactly. I'd I'd be like, so how does it feel knowing that my dad beat your dad in the fun run? You know what I mean? Like the stakes
Yeah.
would be so fucking low. My dad got the better DP spot
You
at
know
the
what this
Olive
reminds me of
Garden.
is that terrible joke Dad loves to tell.
What?
Um, it's so bad, but I'm gonna say it. please don't attribute it to me, but Parkinson's is second behind Alzheimer's, but they don't even know it.
Dad. I've
Dad.
never heard. Did he make that up?
I don't know, but
There's no way. Sorry,
I
my
heard
dog
it
is
in
barking.
like 2008. I can see him standing in our linoleumed kitchen, which my current kitchen is also linoleumed actually. And he stands in that kitchen too and also says this joke. So I don't think there's ever been a pause. There's
Tina Spot
Spot.
wearing my old work sweatshirt.
Good. Rip.
Yeah. Dad's got some jokes. So hi. Sorry. As I've said in podcasts before, Tina is extremely needy and also thinks that we need guarding. Although she did great with my boyfriend's dad's 18-year-old dachshund that we babysat. She wears diapers, and so there was just no threat. There was no threat level for Tina.
That's like Willow, my dog, who's also Pyrenees in part. When she walks by these chihuahuas down the end of our road, she like kind of like glances at them, and they're losing their minds, right? Like they're gonna have a stroke at some point, and Willa's unfazed. But as soon as we walk by this like 8-year-old retriever type who's just chilling on their lawn, looking a little bit too comfortable on their lawn, Willa's like, you better believe that I'm on the road in front of you.
But like goes, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's like
you
Tina.
Crossed the line.
That's Tina with old dogs, especially. Like she sees like a sizable but clearly elderly dog just like bouncing along, and Tina just is like,
unless they're in diapers, I take it.
Well,
like there has to be some obvious.
No, it's the size. It's the size.
It's the size. Okay.
Yeah, Tina won't. Yeah, she won't bat an eye at like chihuahuas unless they bark at her. If they're just there, she's like, well, I could kill you.
Yeah.
Keep walking. But if there's like Willa, if there's like there's a Great Dane, I think. That's probably not the right.
Oh, that would be so.
Not a Great Dane.
Yeah.
I saw it recently. Rottweiler. Totally different dog.
That sounds kind of tense.
I think they're trendy right now. They're very sleek.
Well, like if you're gonna move on from the pit bull, you're gonna move to the Rottweiler probably, in terms of dog trends.
I suppose so. I don't know.
You know who is also trending on my social media feed are Siberian cats. Yeah.
So we should talk about how much Dad hates George.
I know.
Well, he doesn't hate George, but
well, sometimes he seems really genuinely affectionate towards him. Like, George needs some water. Like he'll let me know.
For context, George is Beej's Siberian forest.
Yeah.
Mountain.
Siberian forest. He's from the forest of
forest cat. So they're huge, and we got him.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. We got him for Aaron, Beej's husband, for Christmas because Aaron's allergic to cats. And so they're like they produce the least amount of allergens, pollen. Pollen.
Yeah, they don't pollinate.
They don't photosynthesize, which is a huge relief to Aaron. And they are just like they're high energy.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
He loves my dad's room. My dad lives in the, I don't know, like 30% of our house is his room. And George loves it. It's super warm. It's kind of dark.
The other cat is in there.
Yeah, the other cat that he can feel really superior to. He beats Luna up all the time. And Dad, I can hear Dad him being like, George, no. He's like trying to reason with him. He's like, come on, not again. He's like thrashing, like knocking all his pictures down, whatever. But the thing is like he doesn't antagonize the rest of the house. um
Oh my God.
generally.
That made me laugh really.
Yeah.
George, come on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
and
man.
it's tough living with, you know, two other people in 1,200 square feet
Yeah.
and a baby, and then the two cats and the dog just kind of, I mean, at that point, it's like a satire, right? Like it would be a lot harder to live here without the extra animals and the dander and the laughs.
Yeah. No, I think your guys' setup is very unique, especially
Thank
and
you.
I couldn't do it. And thank you, sister, for taking father.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're looking for a transition. This is not a permanent living situation. I mean, I thought very romantically when we were um fortunate enough to live, like to move into this house, we were like, oh great, co-housing, it's the pandemic, dad shouldn't be living alone anymore.
Yeah.
He had been a chronic renter. um Time to get him in with family again. But yeah, I mean, things just are not how they used to be 100 years ago or are currently in other cultures and societies. um
As
Right.
in,
Well, I just thought, like, take care of my parent.
oh,
Be
yeah.
habitate with them, socialize with them. I think we've just become so individualistic. It's embedded in our very beings. And to have one bathroom,
Yeah, I would say that's more of a focus than the cultural aspect of it for you
right? The
guys. Like
bathroom, yeah, might trump the
if
culture.
if you guys had more room because we have been taking care of dad as much as he's been taking care of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think that we are not the average American family in that sense. I know a lot of like my friends that live abroad that I met when I was living overseas, they have like three bathrooms like in their family home. Like they have like
Could
room.
you imagine? Oh my gosh, just to have my own bathroom. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine it.
one of these days, Beej.
Or like just it is my sanctuary too. I've told my dad that. I was like, you know, this is not where we leave underwear. Like this is the one place that is just hollowed ground. It's always clean. There's no riffraff. George, maybe he takes a nap in the sink, but that's like the worst done in that room.
Yeah, I like a
To be
clean
clear,
bathroom.
it used to be like a hall closet. Like I live in a fairly old, for American standards, home, and I'm pretty sure they had an outhouse. And they turned this hall closet into a bathroom.
I don't know why I chose twice to look at the camera after you said that.
Well, because you were like, did you guys hear that? Do you hear where my sister lives? There are outhouses where she lives.
I'm in the city. My apartment was built in the 20s.
The roaring 20s where things were deco.
My radiator works sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, do
Well,
you have any farm updates? Anything on your end?
the
We're
ducklings
getting
are getting enormous. They grow so quickly. We have 10 ducklings in assortment, and we have two full-size ducks, one of whom keeps hopping into the ducklings' house and eating their food. So like this morning, my
bastard.
husband found, her name's Bree, after a dear friend. And you know, so things are getting a little interesting for the ducks. The goslings are underway. We have one goose who's sitting on her eggs. We'll see.
Like they're gonna hatch
Yeah, I know. And then we're gonna have more geese, which frankly wasn't in the plan.
in the plan
Mm-hmm.
in the 5 year.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited. More opportunity for me to name them because I loved naming the geese at the first go around.
I
But I
know
think
you
only,
did a
well,
great job.
I only got one name.
I named Maybe. You named Liesel, and then
Mhm.
Aaron's brother's boyfriend named Gustavo.
Mm.
And then
Which,
now we have Lil Mama, Bree, and 3 of the ducklings are named of my friends. And then 7 are available. So there's plenty of naming to go around. In fact, if anyone's listening, send us a name. Send us your name. You know,
if anyone's out there
if anyone can
taking
hear me
taking the time.
on my farm. Yeah. So that's
Yeah, I have some names. Well, I have a list of potential names for our cat.
oh, the cat's still
We'll see.
discussed
I
despite
can
Tina.
I'll just list a few that I know won't come into play because Jackie vetoed.
Oh.
Uh Smart guy, school
Like
nurse.
TJ? He's
He's
a
a
smart
smart
guy.
guy.
Dun, 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 dun.
I forgot about that show. No, I just think I was like
Yeah, the
drunk.
Maori family, man.
I think I just like had a bunch of gin and was like smart
Sure,
guy.
smart. Yeah, that's smart.
Uh
I liked hamburger. Is that still on the list?
Burger.
Burger, sorry, excuse me.
Space heater. I put Mitchum. Like I really like Mitchum, but anyway, I digress. This is a
Well,
Parkinson's lifestyle
if that's not
sister
lifestyle, I don't know what
podcast.
is. Yeah,
Podcast.
podcast. I want
And
you to know, Megs, that Rosa had her 4-month shots today.
how was that?
She, like, I don't know if you've seen an infant get needled,
She
but
screamed.
they go silent, or at least my kid did. And the
I feel
nurse
like
was
that's
like, "Oh, I
worse than
hate it."
her freaking
Yeah,
out.
the nurse was like, "Oh, I hate it when they do that," but it's because she's taking this huge sob, and she's like,
Oh,
and then she just weeps and weeps. But this time, she really overcame it quicker than the first round. So, yeah, snaps for Ro. She's
that's
asleep.
real.
We're also working on some transition to sleeping independently.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, what do what do you got to say about being an aunt? What's it like me giving you these updates?
I like that you give me them.
Yeah.
I like being involved. I like being an aunt. It's just hard living so far away.
I know it's like you're not far, but you are.
But it's a trek, you gotta get on the boat.
There's a sea between us.
The sea between us. Jackie was pranking me the other day. He
No.
was like, well, he wasn't at first. He asked me, we were looking out at the Puget Sound, and he asked me if that was the lake or the ocean.
Well, okay, that's
And
fair.
I was like, that's the ocean. And he goes, but not the sound. And I said, yeah, it's the sound. And then I got so frustrated and I was like, it's fucking seawater, all right? Like, or salt water.
It's salt.
I was like, it's salt water. But that's when we were taking Tina for her runabout that we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say during our anniversary update, we took our dog for her runabout where we go to a tennis court nearby and chase her for an hour.
My gosh, that's one of my favorite scenes in your life.
You should come sometime. It's really
Yeah, I'd
fun.
love to go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, with what's that soundtrack? What's that? High School Musical
We're
playing in the
breaking
background.
free.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a big help for if anyone's out there. Um uh if you have a reactive dog or a dog that just cannot go to the dog park, like mine, like we won't even take her with a muzzle because they don't respond well to the muzzle, even though so basically my dog doesn't know when to say when it comes to playing with other dogs. she's a rescue. She was not socialized. She spent, we think, the majority of her life in a crate. So we found this park near our apartment with a tennis court. And they're pretty lax on the rules because I know we're not supposed to bring the dog into the tennis court. We do it anyway. And it's just amazing. We got tennis balls that are like made for dogs, and rain or shine, every Monday we're at that tennis court, and we haven't gotten any complaints. I mean, you know, it's pretty chill in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Gotta do
Well,
what
I
you have to
mean,
do.
it's a dog city.
Yeah, kind of.
We for Christmas, or for like, I suppose it was Christmas, we gifted father a subscription to a local newspaper in print, partly to incentivize him to come out of his room and not watch TV for a little bit. And so he comes out and reads the paper in the mornings with his coffee and says hi to Ro, and it's really great. The front page of this newspaper was a bar for dogs and humans alike. Like, seriously, feature story.
Yeah. That's a thing now, dog bars.
Dog bars, great. I love that that's a thing, but shouldn't there be just like something else before you come to the article on the dog bars? Like, is there not any gas prices,
Oh, like
Ukraine?
the icy. Yeah. Well,
But I'm telling you, that's where our values
slow
are in this
business day for the
area, is dogs. They really come first. And you and I, not necessarily, dog people from the outset. I
we
mean,
didn't grow
Dad
up
tried to get us a dog.
that failed. That crashed
Yeah.
and burned. It's because we got a puppy.
A puppy. And have you ever seen Dad train anything? I was gonna say an animal, but like anybody.
Kids.
Yeah. Here's a ding dong.
Definitely more of a lax father.
Yeah.
Definitely he wanted us to have fun.
Yeah.
I think that was like a big thing for Dad. Like when I talk to friends that I didn't grow up with, when I kind of talk about like Dad when we were growing up, that house, the one I'm talking about.
Oh, I know.
That was where all the friends came over. Like that
Yeah.
was like we had candy, Gatorade. Dad was just chilling. Like
it wasn't no, we never grew up in nice houses, and it was always kind of like bachelory, but it was the cool place to be.
Yeah. Like Dad knew everybody's names.
Yep.
He knew who all our friends were. He asked, would always converse. Like
yeah, he's a social butterfly.
Social butterfly. Well, we're reaching
that's what we should call this episode.
Social butterfly.
Social butterfly.
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 Fly away.
Be social.
So this has been Parkinson Sisters.
Hey, let's real quick, some housekeeping. I want to do this in the middle of the episodes going forward, but you can subscribe to this content both on YouTube for the video version and for purely audio, as well as patronage. You can go to substack.com/the Parkinson Sisters. And eventually we're going to be, I think, Miggy, Sister Meeg, offering a bonus episode that will be for paid subscribers only. We're working our way towards that, but that's the model we aspire towards.
Yeah, one of those episodes will just be me looking into the camera and just unpacking my childhood trauma, the stuff that I don't feel like saying in these kinds of episodes. It's going to be really intimate. It'll be me kind of just like this. And And you know what Betty Jane said to me
Yeah.
in third grade? That'll be what it is.
Yeah, that's worth so much money
It's weight in
monthly
gold.
out of your tightly compacted wallets.
I'm just joking. No, uh, that's for my boyfriend. He loves
Yeah,
it
I was
when
gonna
I
say if you keep that for the
he loves hearing. All right, this has been a loosey goosey app. I
it's
feel
been
like,
loose and lots of goose. Every time there will be goose for me. Yeah.
and just feedback is key. You know, Bart's
Feedback
gonna
is key.
watch
We're in the
this,
early
and
days.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, I think you guys should have a good night and goodbye.